This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is a director from Daura Gold, Mr. Mark Sumner. Mark, it's a pleasure to have you on. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks. It's good to talk to you again.
Listen, we chatted a bit off air. Our group just returned back from the Rick Roll Symposium, and look, there's capital that hasn't been interested in the resource space that all of a sudden is really interested in the resource space. We have
hmm
on the critical metal side, the Department of Defense, and we have companies like Apple coming in now and taking direct stakes in miners. And I think whether it's gold or the critical metals, I think anything that's not dollar denominated or dollar denominated, but looking to take advantage of a weaker dollar is clearly in demand by more money than we've seen on the sidelines in quite some time. Dauda Gold has a tiny market cap. You just had some news this morning that I think is a milestone moment for the company, increasing the land position. That's very strategic, and I want to talk about that. But before we get into that, can we talk a bit about your experience? Because your capital markets experience, specifically in South America, I think is going to be pretty instrumental in advancing the company forward as you check the milestone moments that we're hoping you check off the rest of this year.
Yeah, sure. I've been working in South America, Chile, Colombia, Peru, for many, many years, going on 15 years now. Peru specifically, I think was really the first country in South America that I got started in. So, been working on a number of different types of projects in Peru for quite a long time. We've drilled a lot of projects. We've got a very seasoned community relations team. We've done a lot of community relations agreements. We've done a lot of drilling contracts. So yeah, we've been working in the country for a long time.
Let's talk about the news this morning. You just expanded the land position with an agreement to acquire very, very strategic and pretty robust 2,900 hectares, right? Adjacent to the Antonella and the Bonita projects, which of course Highlander is executing well on the social license side. They've had excellent results. We're expecting assay soon. You're right on trend. Their market cap is in the hundreds of millions. Your market cap is where today?
6.2 million.
Okay. And again, I just want to highlight the contrast there and provide
Yeah.
the context because that's the opportunity. If you're able to execute on your community agreements and you're able to execute on proving that the trend and the structures continue onto your property, which from everything that I've seen, read, and spoken with the company about, you absolutely believe that that is the case. Can you give some context there?
Yeah, this is a really exciting acquisition for us because, we've been in and around this, San Luis project area for a while, building up a land package. We have Antonella, which is really exciting. It's got those really high grade, narrow epithermal gold and silver veins. But the target around Bonita, which is this particular land package, we picked up about 2,900 hectares adjacent to Antonella and surrounding the Bonita target, which Highlander started drilling about a month ago. The Bonita target has always been a priority area of interest for us because when SSR drilled the San Luis project a number of years ago, they put together a Bonanza-Grade resource of over 350,000 ounces at 22 grams.
Yeah,
They only put two drill holes in Bonita. The highlight drill hole was 35 meters at 5.5 grams per ton
that's
gold
substantial.
from about 19 meters, which really sets this target apart within this San Luis complex. And so now, that drill hole was about 700 meters from our property.
Yeah.
And so now we've got Highlander drilling out the rest of this target. We've just acquired all of this ground effectively surrounding the Bonita target that gives us, access to a pretty spectacular opportunity for exploration. So, like you said, the community relations are going well. We're expecting a community agreement very shortly, which will allow us to deploy the team. And so we'll be out there, within 700 to 1,000 meters of Highlander's drill rigs, running a detailed mapping and sampling program, mapping these veins at surface. We'll also be doing some geophysics to map the veins undercover, and it'll really help us, refine our drill targets for our applications.
For those not familiar with the region, and I'm pretty familiar with the project, I've known of this project since I think, God, I want to say 2009, 2010. But
Yeah.
for those that aren't familiar with the project, can you give just a little overview of your ability to work there and how how many months out of the year you can actually drill there, because that's important, right?
Yeah, well, the rainy season will start. The rainy season will last about 4 months, which will keep us out of the area. Our aim will be to get those get our DIA consultant out and get our DIA filed in the next sort of 2 months or so,
Right.
which will allow us to start drilling next year, and we should hit around July, August, with drill permits to allow us to get out into the field and start drilling. And so we'll have a nice bit of runway, to get those rigs turning.
And in the meantime, you get a better look out the window with the Highlander assays, right? Because you're going to have a much clearer picture of
Yeah,
what the mineralization looks like, what the grade looks like, the structures that they're hitting on, the systems that they're hitting on. And I got to believe that's going to inform a lot of the geophysics work that you're going to be doing to really delineate the targets, right?
exactly. The timing couldn't be better, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they started drilling about a little over a month ago, so presumably those assays are coming, shortly. And so the timing couldn't be better because we'll be preparing to send our team out into the field here, probably in August. They've got the end of July holidays within the communities where they're going to have a number of festivities. But after that wraps up, we'll be in the field in August, and hopefully with some of those drill results in hand.
If the results are anything like the prior results, which is why they have a market cap in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And this is way early, and I always get accused, and rightfully so, of being the optimist in the group, right? But I
Yeah.
gotta believe that with your land package and with the properties right next to each other, they gotta be looking at you with a $6 million market cap and going, you know what would be better than like keeping on drilling on our property? We just going to buy these guys at a substantial premium, right?
I would think so. I mean, we've completely engulfed this Bonita target with our new acquisition. So we've got premium ground. We've got some of that historical drilling at Antonella, which confirms those high grade veins. There's a lot of follow up work to do, data optimization, those types of things that we can do to add value to the projects in the meantime. But absolutely, I mean, we've consolidated a pretty substantial land package. Now we're sitting on just under 16,000 hectares in this Ancash region. A lot of that ground is in and around the San Luis complex. We picked up the Yanamina project just north, about 40 Ks north of San Luis, which is another really exciting prospect. It brings a little over 200,000 ounces into our resource profile. It gives us an opportunity to go out there and hit some of the drilling upside at Yanamina as well. There are a number of targets that need to be followed up on. It's only about 3,700 meters of historical drilling at Yanamina. Pretty spectacular drill results to follow up. They've got uh, over 30 meters at 6.5 grams from
Yeah.
surface, 37
Yeah.
meters at 5.5 grams from surface. So there's a good amount of drilling to do up there as well. And that right now that's a community relations effort, which we've started interacting with the community to start working on social license. Our guys in the district are as good as they get. They've been fantastic. We've been securing community agreements all along. So we're really enthusiastic about that as well. But you put all that together, we've got a spectacular land package. Where we've got Barrick all around us in the northeast at our
Yep.
Tayakoto prospect, which we haven't really talked about a whole bunch, but we will. So there'll be some information coming about that shortly. But Barrick is very active. Highlander is now drilling. It's getting really interesting.
No, look, the money in this sector is made by buying early and buying right. And as easy as it is for most people to flip 20 cents or 100% gain, I've done the best. When I buy early and then I buy right and I sit there and I wait for the catalyst to play out, right? If you deliver on your community engagements and you deliver on submitting that DIA, I think the rest is probably likely to take care of itself pretty easily one way or the other. Either you get to drill in it yourself and prove it up, and hopefully you have what you think you have, or you might never get there and your neighbor might just say this is a whole heck of a lot more valuable than $6 million and come in and make an offer that's going to be hard to refuse, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we're in very good company. We got Barrick all over the district. Highlanders backed by Richard Wark and Eric Sprott and the Lundin family. So like I said, we're in excellent company. And like you said, at 6.2 million market cap, we're a minnow. But our land package, sort of says otherwise, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we have an opportunity to really capitalize that, and I think it presents a pretty tremendous value for investors, particularly now getting in before those rigs start turning,
Yep.
because we get rigs turning on these properties. Our view is that we're going to see some spectacular results.
No, good stuff. Looking forward to it, Mark. A pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Let's do it again soon.
No, that sounds great. Thanks very much.
All right. Cheers now.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.